We are into the final game day of the Tata IPL 2024 group stages. And as always, Sunday double header, and it is nothing new. But it's probably the first time, Orko, we have that it's not going to go into the final day where IPL is bringing in a thriller where top four is not yet done. But now we have already got through the top four playoffs who are into the playoffs now. How do you look into these two games, especially for somebody like a Sunrisers Hyderabad? It is realistically very important for these two teams. Sunrisers Hyderabad playing in the afternoon, similarly Rajasthan Royals playing in the evening. The battle for the second spot is still up for grabs, especially starting with the day game. How do you look into the game between Sunrisers and Punjab?
Well, very crucial game, I would say, because anyone would want to play the qualifier one. I know that all the four teams which we want have been decided, but that being said, we don't know where each of the first three teams will be placed. Of course, we know KKR will finish first, but the battle between the second and third place is still on. So SRH will obviously look to win and hope that the result in the night game goes in their favor, and possibly they can play in Ahmedabad against KKR.
Okay, so they can play in Ahmedabad against KKR. We will see who is the team, but let's take away look into what is the journey so far for both the teams in the IPL so far. Starting with the home side, the Sunrisers Hyderabad, they've got a Q to their name just because of the no result game against the Gujarat Titans. But now they face the Punjab Kings. So what do you look into this as of now? Do they have a road to the 2 points they can build up in this day game? Because Hyderabad, so far the weather condition is okay for today's game, but when it comes to cricket, Punjab has nothing to lose. They just have two overseas players who are going to play today. So what do you look into this game?
Well, we have seen the trend of this tournament that Punjab have been giant killers because they have beaten almost all the top four sides. They have beaten KKR once, they've beaten Rajasthan, and of course, the only side that they haven't beaten is perhaps we can say SRH. So, certainly, they would want to get that tick mark onto their name before they go out of the season. But that being said, they have a lot of problems in their squad because they have lost more than half of their overseas players. So, on paper, they look depleted. And also the fact that they are playing away from home that adds to the pressure for them, but cricket is a funny game. Whoever does turn up on that day is the one that wins. So I think SRH
Absolutely.
are favorites, but we never know what Punjab can do.
We never know how Punjab can turn up on that given day. Going to their side, you said about defeating the big sides. They've also defeated Chennai Super Kings as well at their home or at Chepauk. But when it comes to this game, it's going to be led by a new captain, Jitesh Sharma. So how do you look into this? A big challenge for him, but Punjab away from home has a very good record. They have won most of their games, rather all.
Absolutely. Obviously, Jitesh Sharma is an exciting prospect. He's young and he has even been appointed as the vice captain long before the tournament itself. And certainly, he will have a lot of bags to carry for himself, apart from the fact that he's not in form. His batting hasn't been doing the talking. So, certainly, he would look to address that. And also, as a skipper, if he gets back his mojo with his bat as well, it will do good when the tournament ends.
Okay, so what's your take? How has the season been for the Punjab Kings this season? As you said, a little bit depleted side, but more or less up and down. 15 years they have not made it to the playoffs. Only twice they made it to the playoffs, so it's not a good sign for the Punjab Kings and Pretty Zinta.
Very true. And I think in the previous years, we could say that they have had good squads, but they have played bad cricket. But this year, they weren't totally bad. They were just here and there and almost near the finishing line, but somehow they lost some close games, especially at home. The top order didn't fire. They lost Dhawan's availability, I should say. So certainly the batting problem has been something that they couldn't address in time. And by the time the games were done, and just when the batting started to click with Bairstow coming back, Russo doing well, Karan
Yeah.
being amongst the runs, they have certainly not found the right tempo when it was needed. So they were not totally bad, you can say. They have created some historical moments like chasing down 261 and also beating CSK in Chepauk. But it's sad that they are not through, and I think next season they would look for the consistency they have been lacking for years.
Okay, so they will look for the consistency next season. We will see who will be the captain. Will they back Sam Curran to be lead the side for the Punjab Kings? Time will tell. But let's take a look into the key elements the teams have learned from the previous game. Well, it was a rain affected game for the Sunrisers Hyderabad against the Gujarat Titans. Rain was just the only part of the game, but that gave them a security in the qualifications for the playoffs. Currently in the race, but that one point helped them to get that Q beside their name in part of the playoffs as well in the points table. But in the other hand, their opponents, the Punjab Kings, I think they somehow performed a really good game at Guwahati against the Rajasthan Royals. They decided to bowl for. They lost the toss. They went to bowl first. Bowled really well in the power play. Arshdeep Singh that I was surprised Kavirappa did not play that game. But Nathan Lellis was good. Sam Curran's captaincy this season has impressed me since the time he has taken over from Shikhar Dhawan. And he led from the front with the middle order, got them over the line in the run chase as well. Pretty much something Punjab has lacked doing this season.
Very true. I think on paper also, I felt that Punjab has been underrated, but they certainly have the quality to do well because usually the team that has a better bowling attack does well, and their bowling is pretty much sorted. In the power play, they had someone like Rabada, they had someone like Arshdeep, and even in the death, Arshdeep is useful. Then they have a backup as good as Ellis. You could probably say that he's someone who should have started ahead of Rabada maybe much earlier in this tournament. And alongside that, they have the wonders of Harshal Patel, who is, an IPL maestro of late. He has always picked up wickets in heaps, especially in the death. He's like that perfect third seamer option for any team. Then they have two very good spinners in Rahul Chahar and Harpreet Brar as well. So Punjab overall is a very balanced bowling unit. It's just that their batting didn't click at the right time, and that's why they have found themselves at position in the table. But otherwise, Sam Curran again as a captain has impressed. I think a long-term prospect. You can say that given the 18 crores that he has been given, he has certainly justified it as a captain and as an all-rounder. So I think if they get some things in their favor in future and back this captain, maybe they may go the long run.
Okay, they might go on the long run, says Orko. We will see that. But we're done with the key learnings for both the teams from the previous game. Let's take a look at the top three players to watch out for. Here are three players I've chosen for the Sunrisers Hyderabad is Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head and Bhuvanesh Kumar. And for the Punjab Kings is Prabsimran Singh, Harshal Patel and Nathan Ellis. I think Harshal Patel's off cutters might just assist in the Hyderabad conditions. What's your take? Any other player you want to add amongst these six?
Well, yes, certainly. These are the players that we need to watch out for because given the big dimensions, firstly, the cutters of bowlers like Ellis and Harshal Patel will be handy. Maybe even Patrick Cummins will have a big role in these kind of dimensions and sluggish tracks. I think he'll be a player maybe I will add in this list. Apart from that, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, he's getting the ball moving early up, and given the shaky top order of the Punjab Kings, he can be a handful as well. But obviously, we can't talk about SRH without talking about their opening duo. If Head and Abhishek get going, we certainly don't need to look at the rest of the game. So I think it'll be a very spicy contest up ahead because the bowling of Punjab is obviously good, and to counter that, these kind of openers would be out there. So it'll be nice how they tackle this bowling attack.
Absolutely. So it's nice. You've pretty much summed up all the six players. Let's straight away look into the top three battles in this game. Here are three battles I've chosen. Arshdeep Singh versus Travis Head with the new ball has to be one of them. Bhuvi is getting his swing back. Might be too late to get a spot in the World Cup, but he's looking in good rhythm. He versus Prabsimran Singh and a Pat Cummins, as you mentioned, versus at the death against an Ashutosh Sharma. Sum it up for me. Which one are you definitely watching, Orko?
Well, certainly the first battle, because if you want to hold SRH at the scruff of the neck, you have to get their openers early. Because if you don't, then it's always too late. That's the kind of fearless brand of cricket they play. So I think Arshdeep Singh will have a huge role, and whoever pairs up with him in the power play, be it Kavirappa or if it's Nathan Ellis or Rabada. Rabada obviously has gone back, so he can't play. So I think one among Arshdeep and Ellis has to bowl in the power play, and I think that battle will be very integral to watch. Alongside that, I think the battle between Cummins and Ashutosh would come good, even Shashank for that matter, because Cummins likes to bowl back of a length, and these are players who like to favor the leg side in terms of playing those pull shots over mid wicket or covers. Certainly, that battle also will be a very important battle, especially in the mid, lower, and the death overs. And as you said, Prab Simran and Bhuvi will be an integral battle, but I think Bhuvi has the upper hand given the fact that he's more experienced. And we know that Prab Simran is a player who likes to go hard, but his success rate has been low. So I think the battle will be won by Bhuvi. But of all, I think the battle between Arshdeep and Travis Head will be the interesting one.
Okay, the battle between Travis Head and Arshdeep will be a treat to watch, says Orko, and I couldn't agree more. Let's take a look into the predicted playing 11. Yeah, the predicted playing 11 for both the sides, starting with Sunrise Hyderabad. Surprise is Orko. None of the player in the squad, they do not have a single English player. So they have the full squad, and I think it's an unchanged 11, definitely.
Certainly, they are an unchanged 11 and they are loaded with a number of South Africans, Australians, and New Zealand players. So they don't have an English player, and that's obviously a good sign for them. Their balance would not be interrupted in such crucial games, and I think they will go with the same squad that they have. And obviously, their batting has been doing the talking. Even the lower order, they have some quality and class in Samad, Nitish Reddy. So I think they are overall a well balanced side. If their bowling gets going a bit more, especially the spin department, because Markande and then Shabaz and even Vijay Kant were not really
Yeah.
performing up to the mark. So if their spinners get going, then obviously they are almost an unbeatable side.
Okay, almost an unbeatable side, but they have to get the 2 points first today to see whether Rajasthan defeat the Kolkata Knight Riders. Otherwise, they are into the top two. That's interesting. But going to their opponents, which is the Punjab Kings, so many changes because they just have two overseas, Riley Roos and Nathan Ellis. The Apache, Atharva Taide has opened only one game for the Punjab Kings. I think he comes back into side. Shashank at 4, Jitesh at 5, Ashutosh at 6. The rest of the bowling attack stays the same. I think Vivek Karvirappa should be into this game as an impactor or not. Shivam Singh was somebody I had heard a lot of talk about him. He can be one impressive guy, but the spots are not there enough.
Yeah, I think they'll back these two spinners, Rahul Chahar and Harpreet Brar. So certainly that only makes way for three paces, and I think their three pronged pace attack is very much sorted because Harshal handles the death, Nathan Ellis is that middle overs and power play kind of bowler, and Arshdeep largely bowls in the power play. And alongside that, if they had Kavirappa, who perhaps is the best domestic bowler among the youngsters that India has produced over the last 2 years, and it's sad that he didn't get much game time, but even in that limited opportunity that he got, he almost got Kohli twice. So certainly he is someone who's not short of quality, and they should start backing him and keeping in mind that mega auction and all are coming up. They have to know which kind of players they need to keep back or buy back. So certainly this is a good opportunity for the
Absolutely.
entire team to perform.
Okay, very good opportunity for the entire team to perform. We will see what they do when it comes to the mega auction as well. We're done with the predicted playing 11. Let's take a look into the predictions time now. It's a big game. Match number 69, SRH versus Punjab. Nothing to lose for the Punjab Kings, but all to play for the Sunrisers Hyderabad at their home in the Orange Army. What's your predictions, Orko?
Well, firmly, it's in favor of SRH because firstly, Punjab on paper is pretty depleted. They're also playing away from home, though they have done well away from home, but I don't see them getting past this belligerent Sunrisers Hyderabad side as of now. So maybe 65-35 in favor of SRH.
65-35, well in place for the home side, and I'm not surprised about that. Also, you have given your prediction for the day game. You're going with the 2 points for the Sunrisers Hyderabad. That makes it even more interesting for the night game. Let's go to match number 2. It's time for the match number 2. We are already from Hyderabad now down to Guwahati. It's the Kolkata Knight Riders facing the Rajasthan Royals. It's a very important game for both the sides, I must tell you. Starting not much for KKR, but still I've heard a lot of KKR fans, including you, saying we still need to get a combination right. How much will Ramanullah Gurbaz take the spot of Phil Salt because he needs game time before the playoffs as well. So let's take a look into the journey so far for both the teams. Starting with the home side, the Rajasthan Royals, 4 losses in the drought. Orko, honestly, after the ninth game winning against the Lucknow Super Giants, did you ever think they will not make it to the 20-point mark and they will be at this stage?
Honestly, no one thought that way. I know that IPL is a funny tournament and teams often collapse at an integral time as well, but we never expected a team of Rajasthan stature to do that because they are filled with so many experienced veterans of this particular tournament. And to they faltering in this way, losing four in the trot is certainly sad and unexpected, but still things are in their hands. And I think they would want to make the most out of this game as well.
Absolutely. And how much would they thank George Butler for giving them the last ball victory at the Eden Gardens? Otherwise, they would have been 14 points right now.
Absolutely, because if that match wasn't in their favor, certainly they would have been in a situation where their qualification hopes would have also been dimmed. So it's good that they won that game, sadly against my team. But that being said, both teams are well placed to play the qualifier one, and I don't think that Rajasthan would take this game too easily because they know that they would want to finish in the top two.
Absolutely. And considering you have said SRH to win, so it's a must win game for the Rajasthan Royals today. Going to your side, oh, what a champion side this has been. But now, what do you look into this game? Do you rest a few players or do you go with the same combination? Just Phil Salt in place of Ramanullah Gurpaz in place of Phil Salt?
Well, I think because the next match, the all important qualifier, is just 2 days away from this particular game, I don't think it'll be fair to rest the players too much. Maybe you can think of resting one or two out of them, but I think the entire combination should still play, especially the game time, which is an important factor for players like Gurbaz and even Nitish Rana for that matter, because he has hardly played one game and certainly directly going into the playoffs, he needs some game time as well. Gurbaz obviously needs more game time, and you can even look at Rinku's recent form, which has been a bit shaky and lackluster, maybe giving him a bit more time up the order. So I think certainly KKR would not want to rest too many players, and keeping in mind that the next game is just 2 days away, they would go all guns blazing with a full strength squad.
All guns blazing with a full strength squad, says Orko. So no changes for Kolkata Knight Riders. We'll come to the predicted playing 11. But right now, let's take a look into the pitch report of Guwahati. Here's the pitch report. It's the Barsapara Cricket Stadium. 3 times the teams losing the toss, Orko, has elected to win the game, rather. So last time, Rajasthan decided to bat first. They couldn't defend the target against the Punjab Kings. So what do you look into this? It's a spin-friendly surface. KKR will love these conditions. They have the spin twins of Varun Chakravarti, Sunil Narayan. So if you're given the captain's hat on, would you elect to chase in this surface?
Well, perhaps that would be the case, but Shreyas Iyer wouldn't mind losing the toss because he often loses tosses, and if losing one more toss helps their team to get a win, so he wouldn't really mind. And I think this is a very unconventional track in Barsapara because we usually know Guwahati to be that surface where we score 200, 220 plus runs, but to give such a low scoring match in the previous game, it was quite
Yeah.
stunning. But we never know what will happen this time around. But if the spin fins are continued to favor, then they also have a wonderful set of spinners, and so does KKR. So it will be a very nice battle to watch. I don't think toss will play a big role because maybe both the captains are not sure what is supposed to be done after winning it. So certainly it wouldn't be a big factor. But people usually expect to take bowling first just to know the conditions a bit better. So maybe whoever wins the toss would
Yep.
want to bowl first.
Okay, whoever win the toss will want to bowl first because this ground is not that experienced to know how the condition will play. So we will see just one match has happened in this IPL as well. So we will see that. Let's take a look at the key elements the teams have learned from the previous game. Here it is, starting with the Rajasthan Royals. I think they lost against the Punjab Kings. The top order did not fire. None of them converted to a big score. Yashasvi Jaiswal got out cheaply in the first over. TKC played. He gave a good start. Similarly, Sanju Samson, but it was just out of the 20s. They could not convert it to 40s or 50s. Riyan Parag, the lone warrior. I just was about to ask you in the previous game, but I'll ask you the same question now in some time. And they were short of 15 runs to defend the target because the game went down to the wire, but it was a comfortable run chase for the Punjab Kings. So sum it up for me how the Rajasthan Royals can do something different because they more or less have a same combination. What can they do? Is it the intent they are lacking at the top of the order with the bat?
Well, possibly so. I think they are an exact opposite of KKR in that matter because KKR likes to go hard at the top. But if you look at both the teams, certainly they have the same set of problems because both lost their English opener. One lost Salt and the other lost Butler. Certainly both teams are looking for that replacement to do well. Tom Catmore, obviously very well renowned all over the world as a T20 specialist opener. So if he comes good in any of the games, it will be a bonus. Jaiswal, short of runs, I think he has been very inconsistent. And with the World Cup coming up, he obviously would want to get going, especially before the playoffs. Samson has been consistent, so just one off game doesn't really make a big problem. He'll bounce back anytime soon in the tournament. And Riyan Parag, as usual, has impressed the local boy, the home lad. He has done well even in this previous game, and you would expect the same in this particular game as well. In the middle order, I think they have had a big problem because they certainly haven't been using Hetmeyer too often. Powell has been here and there, and so has been Jurel. So I
Yeah.
think that middle order issue that is something they need to address, especially coming in to the knockouts. And if they try to go a bit more harder, it will help them. And yes, as you said, their team has been 15 runs short to defend the score, but they have had a wonderful bowling attack. They can defend literally anything you can put
Absolutely.
on the table. But that being said, they have to be a
Absolutely.
bit more expressive in their batting intent.
Okay, expressive in the batting intent. You can see Riyan Parag, the lone warrior. You said about Nitish Kumar Reddy in the first game as well. Who impressed you most between these two players? Very tough, but if you had to choose a 51-49, who is it between these two?
Well, obviously the journey of Nitish Kumar Reddy is wonderful because he's much younger and in his very first season he has done this well. I think Nitish Kumar Reddy's contributions have to be certainly noticed, and you still feel that he has to do a little more with the ball, but he has certainly done significantly well with the bat. But Riyan Parag has been an absolute wonder, I should say. You can't call him a revelation because he's been in the circuit for 4 or 5 years, but after 4 or 5 years to have been backed by the franchise
Absolutely.
and give such returns is beautiful. So I think Riyan Parag is someone who people should be happy about because he has
Good
been
point.
highly rated for all these years, but the performances weren't coming. But now that they are coming, they should be happy.
Okay, so Riyan Parag, a little bit edge in place of Nitish Kumar Reddy. Fair enough. Going to the opponents, which is the Kolkata Knight Riders. Oh man, it was just rain. This week has already been just rain, rain, rain every single time. Narendra Modi Stadium, what a washed out game against the Gujarat Titans. Nothing. It was just rain for the Kolkata Knight Riders. But also, I think this secured them the top two spot as well. Rather, the top spot, because that's the maximum anybody can go is 18. So the top spot secures a 1 point. Fair enough. Let's move on to the top three players to watch out for. Here are the three players I've chosen from both the sides in a spin-friendly condition. Yashasvi Jaiswal, Yuzvendra Chahal, and a Trent Bolt. For the Kolkata Knight Riders, Gurbaz has to perform, not just because it's the first game, but let's see how he performs alongside a Sunil Narayan as well and Varun Chakravarti. He's coming out all guns blazing at the right time.
Absolutely. Jaiswal's got a good record against KKR as well, so certainly he will be a key player to watch out for even in the playoffs coming up. Chahal again is a wonderful bowler against KKR. He has been someone who's got a hat trick in the past against them. KKR has a bit of weakness against left arm pace, so no doubt Bolt will be a handful, and maybe if they want to use Berger, then even he will be a big problem for
Mhm.
KKR. Gurbaz obviously is a bit shaky in terms of playing high quality pace, but when he gets going, he's someone who can give them the good starts. And because KKR have good batting depth, he can be a bit more expressive, unlike what he was last season.
Yeah.
So certainly Gurbaz will be someone we need to watch. I think Narayan has overperformed in terms of batting. So even if he doesn't perform with the bat, I don't really mind. It's something that he needs to do with the ball a little more. Varun Chakravarti, obviously leading the race, maybe would be likely to get the purple cap as well. So these are the two spinners who have peaked at the right time and have been the mojo or the mantra for KKR's success this season.
Okay, has been the mojo and mantra for KKR, has given you so much success this season. So couldn't agree more, Orko. Fair enough. I wish them all the best. They have been one of the best sides this season. Without a doubt, that's the reason why they're sitting at the top of the table. Let's take a look into the top three battles in this game. Yeah, three battles starting with Sunil Narayan, the batsman, versus a Trent Bolt in the opening slot. Andy Russell versus Yuzvendra Chahal, and a Varun Chakravarti versus Sanju Samson. Three very, very intense battle, Orko. Tough choice, but which one are you definitely watching out of these three?
I think Russell versus Chahal will be a mouth-watering one because the conditions are slow and obviously it will be challenging for a player like Russell. But what Gautam Gambhir or whoever is at the helm has done is they have brought the best out of players who never had such kind of abilities. Because even in the previous game, we saw Russell playing a cover drive off the front foot. He was
Correct.
going to play off the front foot even in balls wides outside the off stump because we have not seen Russell doing that for years. We always know that he's that front foot clearing basher who just
And also
stays
the
at the back
patience,
foot.
and also the patience he's delivering in the middle.
Exactly, because they have backed him as someone who's not just a finisher, he's not just a basher, he can actually anchor the innings wherever required. They're giving him enough amount of game time as well to bat and take his time. And he's someone who has started using his front foot, and I think that's a big danger for the opponents because if Russell adapts to the game, then there's no better hitter than him. And the way he has played spin this year has also been impressive, and the challenge against Chahal in this particular ground would be a mouth-watering one. Obviously, Narayan versus Bolt will be a key battle because if Narayan gets the start, then KKR are obviously 30, 40 runs ahead of the particular
Yeah.
team. So that will be a wonderful battle. Samson versus Chakravarti will also be an interesting battle because Chakravarti has been in his unplayable best, and Samson is someone who has never fallen to spin in this entire tournament. He has not gotten out even once to spin. So that will be a wonderful battle that both the teams would look to negotiate because Rajasthan are known to playing spin well. But I think the battle between Russell and Chahal will be a wonderful one.
Russell and Chell will be the mouth-watering one, according to you, out of these three. We are done with the battles. Let's take a look into the predicted playing 11. Starting with the home side, the Rajasthan Royals, an unchanged 11 from the previous game. TKC keeps his spot. I don't know what's the update for Shimran Hitman. Hopefully, he is back in the middle order. Otherwise, it's an unstable middle order for the Rajasthan Royals. Rest stays the same. Sum it up for me. Unchanged for you as well.
Absolutely, they'll be unchanged, and if they are a bit more expressive at the top, if TKC gets his back doing the talking and Jaiswal as well, they can obviously get good starts as well. I think they are wonderful middle order enforcers of spin like Samson and Parag. And in the finishing, they certainly missed someone like Hetmeyer, and even Jurel has not been among the runs that much. If Powell gets his mojo going, then obviously he can compensate for the two of them. But I think having two West Indian bashers in the lower middle order is a big asset for any team, especially
Absolutely.
in games like these. So I think Rajasthan are a pretty balanced side, and that's how they look like in the coming game as well.
Okay, Rajasthan a very balanced side, and they do the same 11 for Orko as well. Similarly, your end as well. Just one change, one forced change. Ramulala Gurbaz takes spot for Phil Saul. Nitish Rana keeps his spot as well. So no changes for the Kolkata Knight Riders. No players resting for you as well.
Absolutely, I don't think that they'll rest any players because the gap between this game and the playoff is not much because there's just 2 days of gap.
Yeah.
Certainly, you have to get the blood running in the body for each player, especially the key players. I have a lot of expectations from Stark because we all know that he's a big match player and maybe his best performance hasn't yet come and it may come anytime. That's the kind of player he is. Gurbaz has to deliver, but I think that the pressure would not be that much on him because he knows that this team bats deep. So even if the top order, the opening pair doesn't perform well, the lower order and the middle order can certainly handle. But I think he's someone who is very determined to do well. He's always been saying the same in press conferences that I would look to take Salt's place and do justice to it. So, given his passion for the team, I think a good performance will come from him as well.
Okay, you're expecting a good performance, but I want to tell you something. You've seen the qualifier one taking place in Tuesday. KKR guarantees is playing the qualifier one. Either of Sunrisers Hyderabad or the Rajasthan Royals will play the qualifier one against KKR. All the three teams are playing on Sunday, which is today. So none of them has a rest. So it's a very equal kind of a game, but none of the teams will have a practice directly onto the field. So neither of the opponents will have an unfair advantage. You can say that they're getting a couple of days rest or practicing in Ahmedabad. That's fair enough. Well, let's take a look into the predictions time now. Keeping in mind match number 70, Rajasthan versus KKR. Orko, keeping in mind you said SRH is going to win that game. Huge game for the Rajasthan Royals. What's your take? Where is it heading towards?
Well, I think because it's a do or die game and they have lost their previous four encounters, I don't see them losing another one. And maybe KKR, I'm not saying they will be casual, but they know that this is not certainly a game they have to win. So maybe KKR would not be very expressive or coming that hard, and Rajasthan would look to capitalize it. I would give a slight advantage to Rajasthan, even though form is not on their side. But if they have finally figured out their conditions well and they get their playing 11 sorted, they have a bit of an advantage over KKR this time. So maybe 51-49 in favor of Rajasthan.
51-49, a slight advantage to the home side just because they are in a must-win game rather than the Kolkata Knight Riders. Fair enough. Thank you so much, Orko. That summed it up pretty much. The double header. It's Super Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. SRH have a big game in their hands. Rajasthan have a big game in their hands. We will see whom does Kolkata Knight Riders face off in the qualified one. We're done with the league stages. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Orko, as well. Sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. We will there with you for the playoffs as well. Till then, thank you so much and bye bye.